1888, Whitechapel, London. One of the poorest, most overcrowded, and dangerous districts in the entire world. From its dense, suffocating fog, a monster emerged. Overnight, he transformed from a mere murderer into an eternal enigma, a timeless legend of terror. His name, Jack the Ripper. For over 130 years, despite countless investigations and theories, no one has been able to definitively uncover his true identity. But today, we will step deep into that historical darkness. Why did he commit these horrific murders? Why were his methods so brutal, so theatrical, and so bizarre? And can the cutting-edge science of the 21st century finally unmask the face of this Victorian phantom? Join us as we reveal the surprising facts, the chilling details, and the slightly vulgar and terrifying rumors hidden behind the most famous unsolved case in history. The story of Jack the Ripper is often told in a sensational, almost fictionalized manner. But we must not forget the women who became his victims. They were not just names in a grim tally. Officially, 5 women are considered the canonical victims: Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Most of them were in their 40s, mothers and wives who had fallen into the depths of poverty. To earn the few pence needed for a bed in a common lodging house for the night, they sold their bodies on the dark, gaslit streets. In the Whitechapel of that era, prostitution was a desperate last resort for survival, not a choice. They were not exceptional figures, but the anonymous, disposable victims created by the vast darkness of Victorian society's underside. Jack the Ripper preyed on the most vulnerable and unprotected members of society, those whose disappearance would barely be noticed. The killer's modus operandi was shockingly abnormal. He would swiftly slit the throat, likely to silence the victim, and then proceed to mutilate the abdomen. And this is where his particular brand of madness truly began to show. He would remove the victim's internal organs, showing a particular interest in the uterus and kidneys, and sometimes take them from the crime scene. On one occasion, he carefully and deliberately arranged the extracted organs beside the body. This was not a simple thrill killing driven by blind rage. There was a chilling, almost surgical precision to his work. The police and examining doctors quickly deduced that the killer possessed significant anatomical knowledge. Was he a doctor, a surgeon, a butcher, or someone with similar skills? The profile of the killer oscillated wildly, from an educated member of the elite class to a simple laborer. An invisible devil, a phantom with a blade, was stalking the foggy, labyrinthine streets of London. The killer, as if to mock the police and the press, sent hundreds of letters claiming to be him. The vast majority of these were cruel hoaxes from copycats. However, a few of these letters are believed to be genuine communications from the murderer himself. The most famous and chilling of these is the letter titled "From Hell." This letter was sent to George Lusk, the leader of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee, a group of local citizens who had started their own patrols. And enclosed with the letter was a small box. Inside the box was half of a preserved human kidney. The letter, written in a semi-literate scrawl, stated, "I send you half the kidney I took. The other piece I fried and ate it. It was very nice." This kidney is believed to have belonged to the 4th victim, Catherine Eddowes, who had her left kidney removed by the killer. The perpetrator was not just killing, he was flaunting his brutal acts, taunting his pursuers, and plunging all of London into the depths of abject terror. After the murder of the 4th victim, Catherine Eddowes, police found a piece of her bloody apron in a nearby building doorway. And on the wall above it, a mysterious message was scrawled in chalk: "The Jews are the men that will not be blamed for nothing." This could have been the only direct clue to solving the case. However, when the police commissioner, Sir Charles Warren, arrived at the scene, he gave an inexplicable and highly controversial order: erase the message before dawn. He feared that if the message became public, it would incite the growing anti-Semitic sentiment in the area and lead to violent riots. Preservation of crucial evidence or maintenance of social stability? With this decision, a vital clue that might have led directly to the killer was lost forever, washed away before it could even be properly photographed. So, who was the killer? There are over 100 suspects, but one of the most famous, enduring, and sensational is the royal conspiracy theory. The elaborate story goes like this. Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson and second in line to the throne, secretly married a working-class Catholic woman and had a child with her. To cover up this catastrophic scandal, the royal family, with the help of the Freemasons, conspired to systematically murder the women who knew about the secret marriage. And the man who allegedly carried out the gruesome killings was the royal physician, Sir William Gull. As a respected doctor, he had extensive anatomical knowledge, matching the killer's profile. Of course, this is just a highly speculative conspiracy theory, but the narrative of a massive, state-sponsored cover-up involving the highest levels of society continues to fascinate and captivate people to this day. In 2014, there was a dramatic potential breakthrough. DNA, believed to be from the killer, was allegedly extracted from a silk shawl said to have belonged to the fourth victim, Catherine Eddowes. And that DNA was claimed to be a mitochondrial match with the living descendants of one of the prime suspects from the time, a Polish-Jewish immigrant and barber named Aaron Kosminski. Kosminski was known to have a pathological hatred of prostitutes and suffered from severe mental problems, eventually being institutionalized. Had the 130-year-old mystery finally been solved by modern science? However, this DNA evidence has faced significant scientific criticism and is far from being considered conclusive proof. Doubts remain. Was the shawl genuinely from the victim? Could the DNA have been contaminated at any point over the last century? For now, the true identity of Jack the Ripper remains stubbornly hidden in the dense fog of history. Jack the Ripper was more than just a murderer. He was the first celebrity killer, a terrifying phantom created by the emerging modern mass media of the time. Newspapers sensationalized his brutal crimes, selling millions of copies, and the public eagerly consumed the terrifying story. Perhaps his true identity no longer matters as much as the legend itself. He has become an eternal monster, an archetype created from the darkness that lurks within our own minds. Who do you think was the real killer? Let us know your own theory in the comments section below. If you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Let's uncover more crazy hidden sides of history in the next video.